said it on the Super Show. I'll say it here. Fuck everything about All Elite Wrestling. Right off the gun.
They're doing it again.
Right
man.
off the fucking top.
They're doing it again. And
Right.
I don't even have a horse in this race, to be honest with you. But even then.
So I teased something. It wasn't an intentional tease. We were just short on time and we didn't really divulge more into it. But there was something that we mentioned on the Super Show where Albert, who has an amazing name, Albert Albanese, I'm like, who the fuck named you that? That's amazing. But he was on the show and he was very cool, very diplomatic, very respectful. And I get it. As we started talking, I started realizing that I think he was being a little extra careful with a lot of us because a lot of us have experience being in the actual business, and he doesn't. He labeled himself. He's just a fan. But at the same time, like, I got a very glaring sense that he was being very respectful, and he was very choosy with his words. But at the same time, he was kind of down on AEW for his specific reasons that he laid out. I am afforded the opportunity to not have to be all that humble all the time about my position because of the dues paid, right? So it's like I've got the time in. Now, did I get to that level? No, but that doesn't negate the time spent, the effort spent, the money spent, the blood spent, the tears spent, the sweat spent. So when I say things like, fuck everything about AEW, people will respond back and go, oh, what does it matter that he says that? It's not like AEW is interested in him. That is fine. The feeling is extremely fucking mutual. Listen, when we were doing, I think before you got on the show full time, I was doing episodes regarding AEW because during that time period, it was kind of bare bones. It was like the beginning, right? So it was very topical. This is the Cody, Kenny, Young Bucks era when they were just starting everything out. Chris Jericho is now a part of this company. That's a big splash. That's big news. They were working in big buildings, full houses. This was looking like a serious thing.
And their stance and mission, to be fair, and the what you're speaking of right now,
yeah,
their mission and their actions were completely different than today.
They've completely spiraled.
They've had time to show their true colors.
Yeah.
But the time frame of which you're referencing, I'm saying this because like even in the moment when we first started, I do remember like when we were going over it, you were like, all right, let's not so much like not be critical, but like let's not be like as aggressive even with the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Just because we want to maintain the right light and stuff like that, because you never know, right? It was definitely a time where like the land of opportunity,
right?
Like, things were awesome, they were up again, the mission was there, everyone was on board. But as time went on and we started to see those true colors and we started to see unfold and start to see the true motive and start to see the fame kind of get to certain people's head and stuff over there, yeah, it's just became 100%. Yeah, fuck this. Because that honestly, and I'm not at the level you're at as far as like expertise in the field and everything like that. Right. And I feel betrayed. So that should tell you something, right? Yeah. Like I can imagine people who are invested in this, who've put in the work, who maybe even saw it as an opportunity or was on board and supported and donated and bought stuff and went to the shows because this could be the wrestling we've all been waiting for. And I feel like it's like people have just been bamboozled and some people just refuse to like agree to that. Like the people that still watch it today, I don't get it.
Right. This entire thing that is AEW has been, is, and at this point, I'm thoroughly convinced it will forever be a vanity project. That's all that it ever was. They used the word opportunity. It was never an opportunity. It's all filler. That's all any of these performers ever really was. When they first started talking about AEW, we were promised sports-based presentation. And then immediately got Rick and Morty, Ghostbusters, an arcade thing where they were smashing these fake little arcade cabinets. It was WWE Light from the beginning. So that went out the window. Then it was, we're going to be wrestlers first, right? We're going to give you the opportunity for creativity. We're going to give you an opportunity to succeed. We're going to give you an opportunity.
No scripts.
Yeah, none of that garbage.
No dialogue.
No writers and all that other stuff.
We're going back to the attitude era.
And what ended up happening was they absolutely meant it when they said, we're going to give you guys the opportunity to succeed. Because anytime anyone ever gives you the opportunity to succeed, they are equally giving you the opportunity to fail. And unless you have the experience to know what works, what doesn't work, how to change, how to adapt, how each crowd is different, you will almost certainly fail. And that is what happened to a lot of the AEW talent, because there's no infrastructure there that is in place to aid any of these people in success. If you're a former WWE superstar and you've been there and you've wrestled at a high level, a Moxley, a Jericho, a Neville, but his Pac, right, or Claudio, or any of these guys with high level experience, then you can succeed because you've already been through a structure that helps you learn how to succeed. Even if you're not a former WWE guy, Will Ospreay comes from the New Japan system. But he's talented.
Kenny
Omega came from the New Japan system, right? All of these guys came from different systems. They know how to succeed because they were trained and taught how to succeed. That atmosphere does not exist in AEW. And for the record, they happened to have hired a bunch of people who wouldn't want the structure even if they fucking had it. Because there's a lot of veterans that go to AEW. A Bryan Danielson, a Jerry Lynn, a Jim Ross. Imagine Jim Ross, arguably one of the fucking goats of this industry, telling you or giving you some form of advice that he feels would aid and help in your career, and you just roll your eyes and walk the fuck off. It's almost enough to guillotine a motherfucker before a big pay-per-view. A wink. Because some of these fucking people will do that. They figure, I'm already signed, I don't need the fucking help. Adam Page, the world fucking champion, went on fucking television and told the world, I don't even listen to the advice the old timers give me. I do my own thing. So that's the atmosphere. Okay? The other side of AEW that drives me fucking nuts is everybody looked at WWE and said that place is a terrible place to work because you're not working to the 20,000 fans in the building. You're working to an audience of one. You're working to Vince McMahon. That's it. That was the criticism. You're only really going to be successful if Vince McMahon wants you to be successful. You're only going to do it if Vince McMahon thinks that you can do it. That's it. That's all that's going to happen. You're very limited. And AEW promises, we're not going to do that. And then immediately does exactly that. Because unless you are on the Tony Khan train, you don't get used. How many people in AEW history have we heard about that's been home doing nothing, not injured? There's just nothing for them to do. If they're getting paid, fucking great. But you're not building any equity. You're not building it. You're not getting any more experience. You're just at home. And then the other way, which is going to lead us to what we're talking about here. You get hurt. You take the time you need to convalesce. You even come back and perform at a high level. And then your contract is up and they go, oh, you remember that time you were injured for like 5 months randomly in 2021? Yeah, we're adding that to your contract now to extend it. That was the reason we didn't get the Lucha Bros in WWE, because they put that shit on Ray. Penta's contract expired. Ray's was supposed to expire, but they added time due to an injury that happened like a year or two before that. Just so at the very least we could mitigate it and they won't go to the WWE together. But what ended up happening was that they put it on Ray Phoenix, who then just stayed home for the duration of that entire thing.
Took a vacation.
Got paid the entire time and then wound up on fucking SmackDown anyway.
And is fire.
So what was the fucking point?
And you thought you were going to fuck them up from coming in separately, and you only did them a fucking favor.
Yep.
Because not only do we have the backup of them coming together, but them separate has been absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. And when the day comes, and it probably will at some point,
it will,
where they team up, even if it's for a short amount of time, more money to be made.
Fire.
Because if you think the Penta merch is selling and the Ray Phoenix merch is late, wait till you get Lucha Bro merch. Done. They told Miro, Rusev, we don't have anything for you. He spent half of his contract at home. And then when they finally did realize, hey, we're paying him a bunch of money to do nothing, we should probably get him to come to work, they pitch ideas and he would just go, no, you guys made your point. I'm good. I'm just going to stay home. And he stayed home for like a year or two. And now he's on SmackDown. Now he's on Raw and just had a...
I mean, if they can do that, like where, like, are you... I guess this is a rhetorical question. Are you that stupid where you tell them to stay home because you think you have the leverage and you think you're punishing them? But then you're like, oh, maybe we should do something because we're spending money here.
No,
Let's try to get some money back. And they're just like, nah.
Because that's how stupid he is. He feels in his head and in his heart that the punishment is not being on the show. Yeah, he's getting paid, but he's not working a show. Right. That's kind of the point. How rested were these guys when they left and went to WWE? They'd been off the road for a year. They're feeling phenomenal.
Yeah, and you're not talking people who've been doing it for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
You're talking people who've done it their entire life. So it's like riding a bike. So you're just letting them rest their body. And yeah, they'll have some rust. I think on a side note, I personally think Rusev's got a little bit of an identity thing going on right now. And I think he needs to figure it out and quick, or we might see someone disappear here. That's my own opinion. But yeah, you don't punish them from giving them a break. If anything, in this industry, when you've done it for so long, you're only doing them a favor, letting them rest their body.
Now you can
to pay them. You
can make an argument on either side, right? You can say, "Oh well, serves them right for being difficult to work with. They don't deserve it. Fuck them." You can look at it the other way and say, man, what a fucking idiot. Why would you pay these guys to do nothing? You can argue on both sides. There is an incident that is happening right now as we speak that defies the brain. Because, again, lies. Lies. Every single time Vince McMahon ever extended it happened to Ray. That was one of the most famous examples. It happened to Ray. Ray was at the end of his contract, but he had multiple knee injuries, and they extended his contract due to the knee injuries and the time off from the injuries and stuff. And the internet shit a fucking chicken. How dare they? And this and that and the whole shebang. And he's convalescing. What a bunch of douchebags, right? Tony Khan, AEW, even the fan base, always with we would never do that. We're wrestlers first. We take care of our people. Okay, so Danhausen comes into your fucking promotion to great fanfare, performs in whatever way you want him to perform. He tears his pec. Has a pectoral injury, tears it. Gone for a few months. Comes back to TV. Performs again. And again, if you're not on that Tony Khan train, you don't get used. So he went out there, did his thing, and then they just, hey, why don't you just hang back at the house for about a week or two? We'll run through some stories and get some stuff done, and then we'll bring you back fresh for something new. We'll let you know when that's going to be. And they just never called him again. So now his contract's coming up. And he reaches out to AEW and he says, "Hey, we haven't spoken in a while, but I just wanted to remind you guys, my contract's coming up in a few weeks. I just wanted to let you know that it was coming up, remind you guys, and to, very respectfully and politely ask that maybe you guys don't renew the contract. I'd like to do some other things. I had a great time." Very respectful. They responded back by extending his contract for the time that he had missed when he was injured, which takes him now into 2026. But following that renewal was no pitch. They're not planning on bringing him back. They just renewed it. Now, there's no word on the street that WWE is interested in Danhausen. I don't think TNA, I haven't heard anything about TNA being interested. We don't even know if the things he wants to do is related even to wrestling. We just know that he just didn't want to be there anymore. And they renewed him anyway, against his fucking wishes. So now he's trapped in the AEW. Mm-hmm. So when this first happened, I was like, okay, so where's the outrage? But we've gotten some outrage now. Now there's people going, okay, hold up. When it happened to Ray Phoenix, everybody was like, I mean, I get it, but it sucks. I really want to see them together at WWE. Da, 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 da. This is not that situation. This is not a situation of people saying, well, I get it. It can hurt the numbers if he goes to WWE or what. That's not the case here. I mean, all due respect to Danhausen, if he was on Raw tomorrow, it's not going to make a difference to AEW or WWE. It's not going to make a margin. This is not one of those situations. If MJF decided tomorrow that he wanted to go to Raw, I could see you playing games with the contract. That makes sense. That would hurt you. This doesn't hurt you. Why are you trapping this man? To then not use him. He's at home shooting videos by himself in his house with CM Punk for some reason. I don't know how that happened, but they're hanging out now on his show, and that's double death for him, because if you're talking to Punk, you're definitely not getting used on AEW television right now. There's no way. So they're just playing a lot of games. They announced, oh, you're gonna love this. I don't think you saw this. You might be hearing this for the first time. They announced today big news for their next show. So their next show was All Out. That's like their WrestleMania, All Out. It's their big show of the year. This particular one is going to be in Toronto. Mm-hmm. And they already had the date set, which was September 20th. Then WWE pushed the issue with ESPN, and they very strategically got their way out of the Peacock deal. So this Clash in Paris that we're going to talk about later is the last Peacock pay-per-view we're going to talk about, because they're headed to ESPN September 20th for WrestlePalooza, which we'll talk about later. Stupid fucking thing. But we'll talk about that later. So they booked WrestlePalooza same day as All Out, right? To cut into the profit, cut into the attention, to damage them. Makes sense. It's business, right? This happens all the time. So AEW made 2 announcements today. And when I heard them both, I almost pissed myself laughing. This has got to be the most AEW thing I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. The first announcement was due to a competitive nature, our show on September 20th, AEW's All Out, will begin airing at 2 p.m.
Ugh.
We're going to go on before WrestlePalooza.
So they'll get done by 12. That's good.
I was going to say, yeah, they're still going to finish after WrestlePalooza, even if they start at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But yeah, so they said, yeah, we're going to start at 2. I was like, oh, so we don't want smoke? What happened? I thought weren't they gloating not too long ago about beating WWE in the ratings and something? But we don't want that smoke, right? You don't want WrestlePalooza to go against your big show? Okay, makes sense. And then they hit me with the one that made me cackle. I actually had like a very witch-like kind of laugh, because it was fucking hilarious. They also announced that this pay-per-view will air on HBO Max. And why does that make me laugh? I'm an HBO Max subscriber. Sounds like a deal made in heaven, right? I'm already a subscriber. That means I'm going to get the pay-per-view. Wrong. It is going to be on HBO Max for an additional $40.
Get the fuck out of
So
here.
I gotta pay $40 on top of my subscription to watch the fucking pay-per-view. And the fucking people in the comments almost gave me a fucking stroke because they were in there defending this shit. Oh, it's a discount. It's a discount because the pay-per-view is normally like 50
$60.
Yeah, like $55, $60. Now you can get it for 40. It's a discount. I'm like, you're a fucking goof.
Wait a minute. I have a question.
Okay.
Do I then hold on? Let me see if I figure out a way to shoot him some bail.
Okay.
Do I not need the subscription to pay for the pay-per-view and watch it?
Excellent question. If you're going to watch through HBO Max, you have to pay the $40. If you don't have an HBO Max subscription, then you need to buy the pay-per-view through the means you were already buying the pay-per-view for the $55 or $60.
Through HBO?
Nope. No. I'll say again. If you have HBO, it's $40. If you don't have HBO Max, then you can't see it for the $40. You have to stick with whatever pay-per-view provider you would use.
So they're doing both. I guess my question is, not exclusive to HBO.
No, it's not exclusive to HBO. They're giving the HBO subscribers a fucking discount. That's what everybody's all jumping for joy and blowing each other and putting in their will and testament and getting their fucking funeral processions together because they're so hyped they might have a fucking heart attack because of it, because of the chance.
Well, how much? Hold on. How much is HBO Max?
Oh, that shit's auto pay, baby. I don't have that shit off the top of my head.
Like $10? Like $10?
No.
13?
Hold on one second.
$15?
I'm gonna pull it up right here. Sign up for HBO Max. I'm gonna give you the because my shit is auto pay. Your boy's got it. Hold on a second. Okay. Now I remember. I have this actually. So there's a package bundle that they have. If you want to just do the plan alone by itself, you can get HBO Max student discount. It actually doesn't have it by itself. It just says bundles at the moment. But even the bundle, right? So the bundle, if you want to do Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max as a bundle, that's $16.99 a month.
Wait, now, well, hold on.
That's with
we're
ads.
Going to go down a rabbit hole. Is that ad free?
No, I was just gonna say with ads. That's with ads.
I want ad free numbers.
Of course you do, because you're a civilized human being like myself. Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max, all three, no ads, $29.99 a month.
So I'm paying more for the pay-per-view.
You absolutely fucking are. And now that I'm thinking about it, that's the one that I have, so I'm being ripped off.
Yes, you are. Again, by the way.
Yes. Oh, by the way, now that I'm looking at this, if Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max together are $29.99 a month, then ESPN Plus is really going to fucking rape me because, Jesus Christ. We're leaning on that. We still have no judgment yet. I'm running out of time to decide whether or not I'm getting ESPN Plus. But that's another conversation for another day. Let's take it back to AEW for just a second. But yes, this is the shit we're dealing with, right? So let me see if I can look up just real quick price. Hold on, there we go. If you just want, here it is. So if you just want max, right? Just straight, I just want max. That's it. You could get it for $9.99 a month with ads, $16.99 a month for the standard package, which is ad free. You can get it $20.99 a month for the premium, which is ad free, and it's a 4K quality option. Which I guess you're just paying a whole.
So we're breaking even at this point.
Well, yeah,
I'm not paying a subscription to have ads. That's stupid. So
none of my streaming
16
is so
plus 40 is $56. You're breaking even.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
Basically, in a nutshell. And it's so funny that you said if I'm getting a streaming service, I'm not getting ads. It's so funny because none of my streaming services that I'm subscribed to have ads. I'm ad free on everything, except for one. Netflix. And the only reason that's not ad-free is because I'm not paying for the Netflix. My phone bill is. The T-Mobile thing, it offers us Netflix. But they changed the plan because Netflix changed their pricing tier, and my phone company is only paying for the ad price, which is infuriating. Because every time
you were ad free and then it went to ads.
And then it went to ads. So I deal with the frustration and anger every day of wanting to just call my company and say, you know what, fuck you, and then just paying for it myself. But I'm like, but damn, that's an added bill that I don't need to add to myself. So my staff all the time is like, it's not that big a deal. Which is, no, fuck you. It's a tremendous deal.
It's the principle.
As I said on this show a million times, I've paid my dues. I don't need to see that shit anymore. I lived a life where it was unavoidable. You had to watch them. But now, the technology is here. I don't need to watch any of this shit. And I refuse to fucking do it. When Netflix has an ad, when we're in the, like we were watching Wednesday earlier, and an ad hit, and I wanted to punch a wall so fucking bad. And I know that's got domestic violence written all over it, but if I haven't hit her in 22 years, it ain't going to happen now. I will punch a Netflix CEO executive, though. I will do that. Or T-Mobile. Netflix didn't fuck me on this. T-Mobile fucked me on this. Because they could have kept paying the price. They just got cheap on me out of nowhere. Oh, no. He'll be fine with the ads. No, fuck you. You should have asked first. You just made the call on your own. Fuck you. Jesus Christ. So, yeah. So, AEW's fucking with people. They're full of lies. They've been lying to the boys. They've been lying to the customers. They've been lying to the fans. I'm sure they're lying to WBD. I'm sure they're lying to Warner Brothers Discovery. And now we're learning Tony Khan and the Khan family might not be the only owners of this company. They're hiding something. They're hiding something. We're learning more and more about it the more their information comes out. And Tristan at the Super Cool Wrestling Show might have broke some news because Tristan came up with that Chris Jericho topic simply because Chris Jericho liked somebody's status or whatever. But the word on the street right now is that things are not looking good in the world of Chris Jericho and Tony Khan. We're past awkwardness and now starting to lean more into heat. And if I know anything at all about Chris Jericho, that boy petty. That boy petty. And if you're going to get heat with Chris Jericho, oh, he going to make you feel it. He is going to make you feel it. So I hope for Tony's sake, he's keeping his words sweet and to the point. Because you might have to eat them shits. Get ready for the Royal Rumble, bitches. Saudi Arabia is about to pop off. I'm just saying.